I love toothpaste still. I was gonna make a video about how disappointing Engage is, and about how it's too easy, and how the emblems are too strong, and the story is disappointing. And the game had me going on that route for a while. I was ready to tear into it. I had the script all written up. It was gonna be a slaughter. But then something happened. Something that completely flipped my opinion on its head. And I thought to myself, wait, is Engage actually good? Now, let me just get this out of the way. If you're here for the story, it's not there. I think the biggest compliment I can give the writers is that it makes sense on a fundamental level, which isn't always a given in FE, so good on y'all. But I digress. The gameplay in Engage is phenomenal, and strangely relevant to the story in a way that not many other Fire Emblem games manage to pull off. You see, a big thing in modern Fire Emblem is to try and balance out all of the units, where you want everyone to be able to use their favorite little child soldier, so generally the units that are strong in the story aren't much better than anyone else. But the main thing everyone is after in the story of Engage is the rings, which can be used by anyone. So you don't really have to worry about people not being able to use their favorite units, which means that these rings can be as strong as the devs want without alienating anyone. So when the story tells me that the rings are strong, you get to see firsthand that, whoo boy, these rings are strong. Funnily enough, the only good comparison I can make in the series is to Granddaddy of all stories, Genealogy. And while the general writing level is much better in Genealogy, Engage is the only game that actually feels like it avoids the ludonarrative dissonance problem that stems from having holy artifacts that are believed to turn the tides of war alone. Now, with that in mind, I do reiterate, do not buy this game for the story. It is not good. It is a vessel for the gameplay, which I should probably get into now. The gameplay feels like a GBA ROM hack in the best way possible. The classes are super flexible, the map design is nice. And the new mechanics, the new mechanics. The weapon triangle is back, which I was very meh about, but the way they implemented it is really cool. Instead of just having plus avo and accuracy against enemies that your weapons beat, advantageous weapons now inflict break upon enemies. And your units too, because, you know, it's only fair. And we're not talking about puny little Xenoblade break. Seriously, does break do anything on its own in Xenoblade? This is like a genuine question. But no, break ain't no setup. Break completely disarms the unit and leaves them unable to counterattack. I'm not going to go into all the details of putting enemies completely at your mercy, but just think of the implications. Next up is Smash. Blades in Fire Emblem have always been weird to me, because they're just swords. But good old Engage is here to abolish redundancy, and blades now have a new effect. Now blades and other various heavy weapons allow the enemies to attack first on player phase, and then smash said enemies, moving them back one tile. Another new feature the game added is Fire Emblem finally has subclasses, and they actually mean something. Armored Knights can't be broken, making them actually good at frontlining for once. Healers can body block damage for other units. Cavaliers, I'm not actually sure they do anything special, but they're still Cavs. Mages are trained American snipers with over 300 confirmed kills. Thieves get extra bonus stats from terrain. Fighters can hit people more often. This game is amazing. Okay, I've beaten around the bush long enough. Let's talk about the big ring-shaped elephant in the room. I don't know how he got there. Engaging is the breakout mechanic of Engage, where for the low price of available at essentially all points, you can power up any unit of your choosing with bonus skills, abilities, and usually a one-shot move. First, let's talk about the good. The flavor of these rings are just so nice. Every ring represents its base game's mechanics pretty flawlessly. Sigurd's Engage gives you the moveset of a Genealogy character, complete with Kanto, just in case you were ever worried about being in even a slight amount of danger. Lucina gives you free double-up attacks and a guard stance. Micaiah takes the worst skill in Radiant Dawn and makes it genuinely broken. Leif is another reference to Genealogy because I guess at this point, even IS forgot that Thracia exists. And they're all absurdly, game-breakingly broken. When I wrote my original script, they were my main point of contention with the game. They trivialize every early map. But then Chapter 11 happens, and avoiding spoilers as much as possible, you lose the rings for plot reasons, and the game finally stops pulling its punches. I was having to plan out and think about strategies after this point. I wasn't just bullheadedly rushing through maps. I had to use engages tactically because I wasn't sure when my next one was coming up, and it's been great. Now, I obviously haven't beaten the game yet, but if the game keeps up at this pace, I'm going to be very happy with it. It's rare that a Fire Emblem game actually has a proper difficulty curve, especially thanks to permadeath, and as much as I hate it, the integration of time rewinding mechanics does make it easier for IS to make harder challenges later in the game. Now here's the big question. Is Engage worth it? Should you buy Fire Emblem Engage? Maybe. If Three Houses brought you into the series and you were really about the conflict and the story and the characters, I'm sorry, this game isn't for you. If you want my suggestion, go get Triangle Strategy. It has the grid-based combat, it's a bit different from Fire Emblem, but you'll get the hang of it pretty quickly. And more importantly, the story, the characters, and everything in between is impeccable. It honestly puts Three Houses to shame in a lot of spots. Now, if you're a longtime Fire Emblem fan, you're going to love this game. It almost feels like a GBA Fire Emblem with the paint-by-number stories and smaller scale map design. A lot of love obviously went into this game, be it through the emblem mechanics and references to previous titles, or just through the general feel of the game. I do think Fire Emblem's at its best when it's getting into the darker stories with more intricate characters, but Engage is just as Fire Emblem as Thracia or Radiant Dawn. It's just on the other end of the spectrum. Hi! Thanks for watching. If you're new to the channel and you like what you see, subscribe. Or don't, I'm not your dad. If you have been around for a while and you're wondering what the heck I've been doing, I'm working on it. There's gonna be some new content soon-ish. I'm planning on doing a Engage Iron Man on Maddening, and that's gonna happen soon-ish. It's gonna be one episode at a time, so I can probably get out at least one a week. My main problem is formatting, because I don't think I can do it the same way I did the Hector Hard Mode one. I don't know how I would do it without just rehashing everything I already did for that. We'll see. We will see, though. I've also been working on a big Persona 5 video, which should be out eventually. The script is done, the gameplay, the footage is all recorded, I just have to edit it, which, this video took me about 2 weeks, and that one is about 4 times the size of this one, so we'll see. Fates Part 2 has gone through several rewrites at this point. I'm finding it's very hard to make Fate's plot make sense. So be on the lookout for that. It's still coming, I haven't forgotten about it. So yeah, just keep your eyes peeled and keep yourselves safe. No, it's over. You can turn the camera off. No, the red button.